How you doing? This is Sean McVeigh with Sean's Outdoor Adventures, and today I'm going to give you a little behind the scenes from the reality TV stint I was on, and I'm going to do it as I hike back in to do some scouting for deer and things like that. And there's a lot of bear in this area, so I got to get ready for that. Got my bear pepper spray that I'm going to put on my belt right here. And I also have a knife. I always make sure I have a knife in case of an emergency. So you gotta, have a knife. This one has some cordage on it in case of an emergency. A couple good things to have. I used to just carry the knife, but with all the bears that I've been encountering lately, it's a safety thing. So let's go take a walk. So to start off, what happened with me getting on this reality TV show was that I got an email from a casting agency. They were looking for somebody who does what I do to be on their show, which was, somebody who's into hunting and good at that kind of stuff. So ultimately, I go through all these interviews, getting asked the same questions over and over and over, more or less, and eventually I get picked to be on this show. They fly me out to California, and they're basically going to film this show for, 20-some days. And we gotta live in the wilderness, that kind of stuff. And I had no idea what to expect. So here is some footage of me laying in bed in the hotel room the morning before I was picked up to be taken on to the drop point.
Alright, YouTube fans. It is August the 18th, and I am laying in bed in a hotel somewhere in California. And it's 5:30 in the morning. I've kind of been awake since 2:45. This morning they're going to pick me up and take me to the drop point for the show that I'm going to be on, which is very exciting but also nerve-wracking because I have no idea what to expect, obviously. It's so dry out here. Like, we're in the Los Angeles region, so it's like the southern region. When I was flying in, I looked out the window. I even tried to take a picture with my phone. But I was like, oh my goodness, it's like all desert. There's nothing green. It's been a drought. The person who gave me a ride here has a thermometer or whatever in the car. Shows the temperature, I guess, the outside temperature, and it hit 103. I was like, oh man. So it's like, I'm an East Coast boy on the West Coast, so we're dealing with, when you're thinking about wild edible plants and stuff, it's different out here than the East Coast, so I'm not sure how I'm going to do on that. My first concern would be finding water, drinkable water, because we're going to be sweating our brains out. But that's about it. Sure I'll be sleeping on the ground tonight somewhere or something. Who knows? It's all a mystery. You never know until you're in one of these types of situations, like how weird it's going to be. Just not knowing what's going to happen. It's kind of. I'm going to turn the light back off and close my eyes and pretend to fall asleep. Because it's still a couple hours till they pick me up, and I really could use the sleep. Plus, you probably don't want to see me laying in bed anyway. Goodbye, see you later.
Okay guys, I'm at the hotel. I'm about to leave on this adventure. Never did anything like this before. I'm anxious to see what it's going to be like. I'm looking forward to it. And am I nervous? Yes, I will be honest. I'm a little bit nervous. But, who wouldn't be? First time doing something like this. So, Sean McVeigh, over and out. Being on set of a reality TV show was quite eye-opening. I didn't realize how much of it they try to script and tell you what they want you to say and things like that. And the show that I was on didn't really make it anywhere. But I was glad because when I saw the final product, it was very disappointing. I was very disappointed with the way it came out. For me, anyway, because a lot of what I did wasn't even portrayed in the show. Like, You know, we built a bunch of stuff, and all the things that I built were intentionally left out. And part of it was, I think, like in the production of everything, we were getting along great. It was me and a bunch of other guys, and so the production, the owner of the company came in and said, "Hey, you guys, you know, it's great that you're getting along, but we need some drama. So we need you guys to maybe like get in an argument." So, you know, we had to sit down and get into an argument, which I didn't participate in, but some of the other guys did, dropping the F-bomb at each other and stuff like that. But I was like, you know, this was not what I expected reality TV to be like. And then after the whole production was over, so we were, you know, in the wilderness for 20 some days, got to go back to the hotel. Here's some footage of me at the hotel after the production was over. Whew. Well, just got to the hotel room. Driving through traffic to get here was brutal. I can't stand traffic, so it was rough. I'm pretty worn out. I'm just tired out, but I'm gonna clean up, shave, get a shower. Can't wait to do that. But before I do any of that, I'm gonna call my wife, talk to her for a little bit. I miss her a lot, and I'm looking forward to getting home. So that's the first thing on my agenda. In fact, let me get my phone out. Where do I set it down? Over there. Let me get my phone and give her a call. Hey, got my phone. Oh, man. Feels so nice. Hey, babe. I just got to the hotel. Hi, bud. Oh. Well, this is interesting. I got a mirror behind me. So I took my disgustingly smelly shirt off, but I'm going to shave this facial hair. I'm hoping this works, because I don't normally grow my facial hair out like this, and I know that shaving with a razor in these kinds of situations is not the easiest, at least I don't think. But I do have a little shaving cream here, and I got a 6-pack of razors. I hope that's enough. So I'm gonna give this a try, see what happens. I'll check back with you in a minute. Alright, I know I look silly with all this shaving cream, but it seems to be working, which is nice. I'm just trying to take it easy though, so I don't like cut myself, because that has happened before. So I'm going easy, and then I'll just go back a second time to fine tune it. So you see what I look like, you're gonna forget what I looked like before I had all this facial hair. Gets all clogged up with those facial hairs. Let's tap it out. I hope I don't jinx myself here, but this is going a little better than I thought it was going to. So far. I was in a car accident once and broke my jaw real bad. I have a scar here because they cut me open and pulled my skin up and put a metal plate in my jaw. Bet you didn't know that, some of you, unless you read my book. I've Got to Change, where I tell the story. That's part of what contributed to me. Part of what contributed to me becoming kind of religious. I realized I could have died, and so I started to try to live my life a way that I felt ready for death. Deep Thoughts While Shaving with Sean McVeigh. I'll show you that scar when I get this cleaned up a little bit better. tell you what, I'll put this down for a few minutes because I'm sure you don't want to watch me stand here shaving forever. And I'll just check back once I get the sides at least done. Alright, sides are done. Now I'm going to put more shaving cream on this area here and get rid of that. Looking pretty different, huh? Whew. Oh yeah, here's the scar I was telling you about. Goes like this. So I broke my jaw all in here in a car accident and got all my teeth knocked out. So they cut me open there and pulled my skin up and put the plate in. And all these teeth are here are all fake. It's one big plate. I got like implants where they like bolted them in place, and so all these teeth here are, so there's some stuff that nobody else on this episode knew about me until right now. So now you know. Now I'm going to go take a shower. I'm longing for that. And just to let you know, this washcloth that I just used to wipe my face off with when I was done, I looked down at it. I was like, man, I didn't know it was a brown towel. It's just my face had so much grime on it that it's just filthy. Alright, shower time. Bye-bye. I gotta say, that shower was amazing. So, what I can tell you right now is there are things that you miss about the wilderness, and there's things you miss about regular society. One, nice hot showers. I actually thought I had much more of a tan than I actually do. It's just that I had that much dirt on me that I looked more tan than I actually am. I was amazed at how much dirt came off of me in that shower. So the other thing that I'm grateful to be back to is deodorant. That way I don't have to stink all the time. I thought that I packed a brush, but I did not. But I did find a plastic fork in my suitcase. So I am brushing my hair, combing my hair with a plastic fork. It's similar to a comb, just got fewer and bigger teeth, that's all. It seems to be doing the job, wouldn't you say? Always got to be creative and resourceful, whether you're in a survival situation or an everyday, regular life situation, people. Got to have that creative thinking cap on. No brush, what am I going to do? Use a plastic fork. And one other thing I'm looking forward to tonight is not getting eaten by mosquitoes all night long. One other thing too, like when I came home from doing that show, it was a tough transition to get back into, just being primarily a stay-at-home dad, and going from having film crews videoing everything you do for 16 hours a day to just changing diapers and stuff. It was like, it was a rough transition. But anyway, I wanted to put this together just as a little behind the scenes for my fans that follow my channel and had been interested a little bit more about that show I was on. And it didn't really go anywhere. The production, the way it came out, it was just okay. I wasn't like blown away by it, and I have my own opinions of it all. But I think, obviously I felt like God's hand was on the whole thing. The fact that I was just, contacted out of the blue, asking to consider being on the show, I just felt like it was a providential thing. And I learned a lot from my own production, and it really helped me. Like last year I did the map reading challenge, and I produced sort of like a little TV series in a sense. And I learned a lot just from being on the set of that reality TV show. I learned how to do interviews, because they interview you all day long. I mean, so many interviews, so many, you have to repeat the same things over and over half the time. And so, I learned a lot. But I also learned from that, one of the biggest mistakes they made on the show that I was on is that they didn't pick a good area to create a successful, show. And I'm going to talk about this in a different episode. I'll put a link in the description section of this. And I'm doing it as a separate video because I don't know if they'll allow me to keep it up or not, depending on, you're just not allowed to say much about those types of things. So we'll see. I'll put a link in there. And, if once it's done and if I'm allowed to keep it up, you'll get to see it. And if there's no link there, it's probably because they wouldn't let me keep it up. Who knows? Anyway, thanks for tuning into this one. Take care. God bless.